And we are live. Hey there, guys. How's it going? Hope you are having a good evening so far. Get ready for a really interesting episode we have here today on Crossing China's Red Line. I can see there's quite a few people in the chat already. We have, hey, Red Liners. Is that what we're calling ourselves these days? We are the Red Liners. Cheers. Welcome to the stream. Hope everyone's doing well, as I've already said. But anyway, we have a good one. So let me just load up what we're going to look at today. This is exciting. Here it is. Let me just put this on the screen. Okay. If it plays, there we go. Okay, guys. So let me just take that off for a second. So, as you know, the name of this channel is Crossing China's Red Line. And holy shit, China's red line has been crossed quite a lot over the last week or so. And we're going to start with this story from Taiwan. Well, not from Taiwan, okay. This thing happened in Belgium and the European Parliament. So, Taiwan's Vice President Xiao Mei-chin made a historic first appearance by a Taiwanese leader at the European Parliament. She made a speech, and in her speech she urged the European Union to deepen trade, technology, and security cooperation with Taiwan, obviously to counter growing pressure from China. She emphasized that peace in the Taiwan Strait is vital to global stability and called for collaboration on trusted supply chains and AI development. Sounds good to me. Here's the tweet that she made saying that she's honored to address the IPAC Global Summit held in the European Parliament, speaking about why Taiwan matters to peace, prosperity, and the future of democracy in the world. Many thanks to all involved in making the visit possible. So, her visit, although it's not an official European Union parliamentary address, it still pissed China off and sparked a reaction from them. Let's have a look at how they reacted. So, this is from the China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs or the MOFA, MFA, whatever the hell. I think MFA stands for motherfucking assholes. Um, so, China has protested to the European Parliament over Taiwan independence. Politicians attending the Interparliamentary Alliance Summit in the building of the European Parliament. The Interparliamentary Alliance is funded by multiple anti China institutions and is accustomed to spreading disinformation about China. The DPP authorities, that's Democratic Progressive Party authorities, that's the party that is in control in Taiwan. They use IPAC to solicit foreign support for their separatist agenda. The political theatrics staged by Taiwan independent separatists and IPAC are merely aimed at grabbing attention. Whatever outreach the DPP authorities try to seek, it will only make their separatist agenda more evident and can never stop China's reunification. We urge the European Parliament to make no mistake about the true nature of the DPP authorities and not to send any wrong signal to Taiwan independence forces. Yeah, I'm sure that they're going to listen to that, you unhinged wankers. China is just like this pathetic girlfriend. Well, not even a girlfriend, because with that analogy, you could say that they once occupied Taiwan. They're like a weirdo stalker that is really super attracted to this girl, but this girl or woman wants absolutely nothing to do with them. It is pathetic, and they think that the IPAC, the Interparliamentary Alliance, are going to listen to this. So anyway, it's quite funny because there was a response from one of the organizers, and I think it's like really funny. She said, her name is Miriam Lexman. Okay. So she said, I hate to break it to the China EU mission. The one China principle isn't a universal consensus. but the UN Resolution 2758 is a living fact. We have every right to build relations with Taiwan, and it was with both my honor and privilege as a parliamentarian to host the vice president. So here she says that the one China principle is not a universal consensus, which it isn't, by the way. Nobody acknowledges the one China principle where they claim Taiwan as part of their own territory. Everybody, they acknowledge the one China policy, as in to say, hey, we acknowledge your position. We don't agree with it, but we acknowledge that you think that. Just like, I think that I'm the most handsome man on the planet. I've used this analogy many times, but you don't agree with that, but you acknowledge that I think that. It's exactly the same for China with the one China policy. Uh, so it's a really good response from her. And also, she mentions UN Resolution 2758, which recognizes the People's Republic of China as the representative of China at the United Nations. But it has absolutely nothing to do with Taiwan's sovereignty. Absolutely nothing. It doesn't even mention Taiwan in there. It only says that China is the sole China who can represent itself at the United Nations. Nothing to do with Taiwan. So anyway, it's interesting because the visit um, by the Vice President Xiao Mei Qin was kept secret right up until the last minute due to security concerns. And obviously, those concerns are not unfounded. I remember earlier in this year, um, there were Chinese agents who were stalking Xiao's car off the road during a visit to Prague in March of last year. Um, that was when she was vice president elect, when they hadn't won the election, right? But they were stalking her. They were discussing plans to actually force her car off the road. So obviously they kept it secret. Anyway, guys, if you want to watch more, you want to actually see her speech, then I'm recommending you go over to my friend's channel, Stan from Poland. My good friend Shimwen Bang Bang, his that's the name of his channel. It's a very good channel, by the way, if you haven't seen it already. There's a link in the video's description, and he was there. He actually attended the summit, and he's the only one who filmed her entire speech. So it's really exclusive content for him. So I want to push you guys to go there. Instead of me playing the video myself, I'd much rather you go over to Stan's channel and give him a view. So go and check it out. It's really, really worth a watch, and you'll see it's a great speech. And yeah, Stan's really fortunate to have attended that, representing all of us for Taiwan. So thanks so much, Stan. Go and check out his video. All right, cool. Let's move on to the next one because not only has Taiwan been crossing China's red line recently, but Japan. Wow. Japan has definitely crossed China's red line. And by the way, click all night. Where did you write that? You said, are there subtitles? Well, she gave the speech in English, so the full video is in English, and you can read the Mandarin subtitles that Stan's put on there. But her speech was in English, so yeah. So yeah, anyway, as I was saying, Japan has definitely crossed China's red line over the past few days. And wow, it is insane. It is crazy, but it's also hilarious and amazing at the same time, all in one go. Okay, so this is Japan's Prime Minister, um, Takichi, or however the hell you say her name. I don't speak Japanese, and I'll just bastardize her name. So I'm just going to call her the Japanese Prime Minister. Okay, she's been recently not erected. Well, I hope not. Recently elected, and yeah, sorry guys, you have to excuse me. I've got a really bad cold today, and I was even considering bailing out of this stream, but I just wanted to do it. So bear with me. It might be a little bit all over the place. But yeah, so anyway, recently elected Japanese Prime Minister. So she was at a parliamentary meeting in Japan, and she was asked by the opposition party what circumstances surrounding Taiwan would count as a survival threatening situation for Japan. Um, and she said, direct quote, if there are battleships and use of force, no matter how you think about it, it could constitute a survival threatening situation. Now, we all know Japan doesn't have a military in the traditional sense of the word. What they have is a self defense force. And it's been like this since the end of the Second World War. Um, so when she says that it's a survival threatening situation, she means it's a legal term under Japan's 2015 security law, referring to when an armed attack on its allies poses an existential threat to Japan. So in such a situation, Japan's self-defense forces can be activated to respond to the threat. So in other words, if China invades Taiwan, Japan will see this as a threat and will activate its self defense forces to come to the aid of Taiwan. Because, according to her, according to the Prime Minister and many other people, China invading Taiwan can seriously disrupt the region, especially with trade routes that go right through the Taiwan Strait. I think, what is it? Like 99% of the world's trade goes through that route. Maybe I'm just like that's a little bit high, but it's definitely a huge percentage. Also, the possibility of China occupying Taiwan and having their military a lot closer to Japan is obviously a massive cause for concern, especially with the huge anti Japan sentiment that China just can't let go of. Dating back to the Second World War, where China and Japan just really ravaged China. It was horrible, actually, but that was a long time ago. Japan is nothing like that anymore. They do not. That does not represent how Japan is today, how they behaved in the Second World War. And China, actually, the China of today is more like that Japan that invaded China all of those years ago. I'd say that there's a lot of parallels with China and World War II Japan, China of today. So, anyway, we had a funny response. Well, I mean, you could call it funny, but actually, it's quite disgusting response from China. It's actually quite disturbing from this guy, Xue Jian, who is the consul general for the People's Republic of China in Osaka. And he tweeted this. Now, I can't read Japanese, so I've had it translated. And it is a direct response to the Japanese Prime Minister, and it says, "The filthy head that recklessly sticks itself out must be cut off without a moment's hesitation." Meaning that the Japanese Prime Minister needs to have her head cut off for her remarks that she made about Taiwan and China. And this is from a government official for the People's Republic of China, a diplomat, and he is talking in this manner. It is extremely childish and unhinged from this guy. He's supposed to be a diplomat, and these are his words? Seriously? Like, cut off her head without a moment's hesitation? Can you imagine any other country behaving like this? Their diplomats talking like this. Why does China always react like this with their pathetic, childish wolf warriors? They are just so insecure. It's unbelievable. Any other person would lose their job over this, right? I mean, making a death threat to the leader of the country where you're supposed to be a diplomat, you would lose your job. What the fuck is going on? But did he get fired? Did he lose his job? No, he didn't. China only doubled down. And during their Monday press briefing, which they always have, here is what they said. So let's
日
listen.
本领导人日前在国会公然发表涉台错误言论，暗示武力介入台海可能性，粗暴干涉中国内政，严重违背一个中国原则、中日四个政治文件精神和国际关系基本准则，同日本政府迄今所做的政治承诺严重不符，性质和影响极其恶劣。
Egregious.
中方对此强烈不满，坚决反对，已向日方提出严正交涉和强烈抗议。
Reading off
台
of
湾
the script.
是中国的台湾，以何种方式解决台湾问题，实现国家统一，纯属中国内政。
How to solve the Taiwan question and achieve reunification is China's own affair. Well, it's only China's affair because they're the only ones that are talking about it, right? The whole world just doesn't really want China to go anywhere near Taiwan. It's only China that discusses this sort of thing. And how to solve the Taiwan question? Well, why don't we just ask the Taiwanese people? Because I think that they have more right to answer that question than some chump from the CCP acting like a robot reading off of his script with his like just square head. It looks like his head is a square. What an absolute tool this guy is. A tool for the CCP. And yeah, he doesn't apologize for his diplomat saying cut off her head without a moment's hesitation. No, he doesn't. He just reads off of a script like a robot. But what were we expecting?
不容任何外部势力干涉。日方领导人有关言论，到底想向台独势力发出何种信号？是否企图挑战中方核心利益？
Is Japan up to the challenge? Well, I think they are, actually.
阻挠中国统一大业，究竟想把中日关系引向何方？今年是中国人民抗日战争及世界反法西斯战争胜利
Yeah, a war that the Western allies won for you.
80周年，也是台湾光复80周年。日本曾对台湾实行殖民统治，犯下罄竹难书的罪行。日本当政者妄图介入台海事务，既是对国际正义的践踏，对战后国际秩序的挑。
And yeah, right. If Japan, Japan, yeah, they probably did some terrible things in Taiwan, right? But why do the Taiwanese people have a closer relationship with Japan now than they do with China? Think about that for a minute there. Yeah?
挑衅，也是对中日关系的严重破坏。中国终将统一，也必将统一。中国人民有坚定的意志。
When he says we, the Chinese people, he he does not represent the Chinese people. He represents the CCP. That's like saying, like, when Starmer says we, the British people, I'm like, yeah, Starmer, my man. Yeah, whatever you say, I think too. Come on.
充分的信心，足够的能力，坚决粉碎一切插手和阻挠中国统一大业的图谋。
他说废话。He speaks nonsense.
中方敦促日方立即停止干涉中国内政，停止挑衅越线。
Crossing the line. See, look, he said crossing the line. That's why we're called crossing China's red line, by the way.
不要在错误的道路
Going
上
down the
越
wrong
走越
path.
世界上只有一个
Okay, and then
中国
there's this dude.
台湾
Let's listen to what he says because again, it's the same shit. There's only one China in the world, and Taiwan is part of China. Wow, wow.
是中国的一部分。日本领导人在国会
It's exactly
公然发
word
表
for word
涉
what the
台
last
恶
guy
劣
said.
言论，严重违背一个中国
This
原
guy
则，
has a
粗暴
slightly
干
more
涉
square
中国内
head.
政，我们对此强烈不满，坚决反对。外交部已向日方提出严正交涉和强烈抗议。
Look, they look piss bored.
日本在台湾问题上对中国人民负有历史罪责，在殖民奴役台湾的50年里，更是犯下罄竹难书的罪行。
And now you
80
want to
年
do
前，
exactly the same thing. You want to colonize and enslave Taiwan. You prick.
我们打败日本侵略者，光复台湾，终结
Restored Taiwan to China? No, you fucking didn't.
日本对台湾的侵占掠夺。80年后的今天，谁在企图挑战中国核心利益，妄想阻挠中国统一大业，中国政府、中国人民、中国军队绝不答应，绝不容忍。日本应深刻反省历史，汲取历史教训。
You should do the same. You should reflect on history and draw lessons from it.
恪守一个中国原则和中日4个政治文件精神，信守在台湾问题上的政治承诺，慎之又慎处理涉台问题。正告民进党当局，任何依靠外
Any
部势
attempts
力
to secede Taiwan
将
from
台湾
China.
从中国分裂出去的
failed.
图谋，都注
What do you mean? You don't even own Taiwan. You haven't even occupied Taiwan. How can you secede something like that you don't even own?
定失败。
Oh, and look, I just love this, right? So the Japanese Prime Minister, she has not declined to retract her remarks. She said what she said is consistent with the government's traditional position. And I just think it's great that she has already been to Taiwan. Granted, this was before she was prime minister for Japan, but she's actually been to Taiwan to meet with Lai Ching-te, which is Taiwan's president, right? That is insane. I'm pretty sure that she is the only world leader who is currently in service of her country who has been to meet Taiwan's president. Maybe I'm wrong on that one, but it seems to be, like usually when prime ministers retire or when they're like, when they're not elected in the next election or whatever, they're a former prime minister. So, for example, we've had Boris Johnson, Liz Truss have been to Taiwan to meet with Taiwan's leaders. But to actually have someone who is now an active prime minister go in to meet Taiwan's president is actually quite insane. But yeah, anyway, this must really piss off China.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Yeah, he must be pissed off. And look at that face. Isn't that adorable? That must be like a really, really strong drink that the South Korean president gave him there. So, obviously, an attack on Taiwan from China will directly affect Japan's security and the securities of every single country around the globe. And China must be living in a dream world if they think that they can just walk into Taiwan without any consequences. And that's all I wanted to say on this because next we have a really, really crazy video, crazy propaganda AI video from China that I saw recently, and I translated it for you guys. I just wanted to play it for you. Then we'll just quickly talk about it. There's not really much to say about it apart from how ridiculous it is and also how fucking hilarious it is. I really just want you guys to see this. I'm going to get off the screen. I'm going to play this and then I'll talk about it in a sec. So let me just hide myself. Okay, get ready for this. Wow, it's crazy. I can't believe this exists.
顺利登陆台湾，开始分区实施行动。
1号确认，进展顺利。
请示3位注意，目标凯达格兰大道，严阵清除火力点。
1号明白，正在进入台北市区，继续推进。
抓活了，抓住赖清德！
这个不能逃，向总统府推进。
紧紧跟上，封住走廊，控制2层。
明白，准备2次破门。
太君有事了，快来救我！
好的，我们现在就派皇军去救你。
你和爸爸，
导弹坐稳了，我们马上就送你去大陆。
你们想干什么？
等等我，我还没上飞机啊！本来可以从从容容，游刃有余，现在却是匆匆忙忙，连滚带爬。
大哥们，快看，他们打过来了！格兰大道，总统府都被占了，领导怎么办？喂，人呢？走吧。
终于统一了！快，兄弟们，都是中国人！终于统一了！
任务完成，祖国完成统一。
现在我们在凯达格兰大道现场，全国都在关注这一刻。您此刻心情如何？
等这一天等太久了，终于和祖国一同呼吸，无比自豪。
我们可以谈条件。北青的，你被封了。大公司和小公司可以合作的，我们可以谈条件啊。
Wow. Can you believe that exists, guys? Like, seriously. I'm just gonna look at it just for a second. Let's take it back. It's totally stupid, isn't it? Here we are. Okay. Oh. Yeah, there we go. Oh. All right. This is so shit. It's the invasion of Taiwan. Put the red flag on the treasure island, meaning Taiwan. Okay, so right there, they're like right on Kaida Avenue, which is in Taipei. They're entering the Taipei district. And they're going to catch Lai Ching-de. William Lai is his English name, Taiwan's president. This is the Taiwan's presidential office. All right, and look, here he is, like Lai Ching-de running away, like a massive coward. Gets in the helicopter, and it's a guy from mainland China. They're gonna take him to mainland China. Oh my god. And look, they're like, look, they attacked. Oh my god. What are we gonna do? And then look. All of the Taiwanese people, they really want to rejoin the motherland. Saying, we're all Chinese. 我们都是中国人，都是中国人。Look. They really think this is going to happen. This is their little fantasy. It's really quite disturbing. And of course, you've got Lai Ching-de. You know, he's portrayed as an absolute coward. And like large and small companies can collaborate, meaning, you know, like we can have two governments and I'll join your government. We can negotiate. It's just pathetic. Just pathetic. But this is what China thinks. They thinks that they thinks that oh my god, I can't spoke right. They think that this is going to happen. They are delusional. And when I say in the title of this live stream that Taiwan has a massive or a huge China problem, this is all part of it. It's this silly little narrative that China's making up where they think that every person in Taiwan is just going to accept an invasion and just instantly defect and join the CCP. And it's just not going to happen, guys. If you look at most surveys that have been done throughout Taiwan, they identify as Taiwanese and they want absolutely nothing to do with China. Okay, there's a select few people that do, obviously. Always will be. I mean, for God's sakes, here in the UK, we've got Krusty, right? So, of course, there's going to be the odd weirdo that wants to be a part of China and doesn't give a crap about an authoritarian government taking over and completely dismantling everything that Taiwan has worked for over the last 20, 30 years, completely democratizing, becoming one of the most open countries in the whole world with an amazing medical care, free health care. They have real laws and just a lot of like really cool things and like a lot of like benefits that can help the people, and they have the right to vote for their leader, and it's just a really awesome democratic place. I would describe it as a democratic paradise, one of the best democracies this world has, if not the best. And that why would the people want to support the CCP that has absolutely no laws and no freedom of speech, nothing? Why would the Taiwanese people want to regress into that? It doesn't make sense. So, anyway, you'll see this sort of propaganda all the time. I know this is AI schlock, but it's just funny, and I thought it was amusing, and I thought we needed to watch it. So, yeah. All right, we're going to move on. I got a couple of videos for you. So, here's one. So, this is somewhere in Tibet. It's the Hongqi Bridge. It's in a place called Barkam. Uh, I have no idea. It's in Sichuan province, apparently, near the border, I think. And anyway, we have a bridge collapse. Are we surprised? I mean, look at it. It's a tofu bridge already. But a landslide occurred, unfortunately, as we're going to see in a minute. I mean, it's already looking like it's in a bad state, but it didn't help that there was a landslide. I mean, this thing's only a year old. And here it goes. It's about to fall down. But it looked pretty tofu bridgy before the landslide ever occurred, right? Now, apparently, there's been no casualties reported, although I find that very hard to believe. And the bridge has been closed since November the 10th. But I don't know. I mean, look at that. Can you believe by looking at that there were no casualties? I mean, yikes. Okay, and then we had an expressway just caving in Yunnan province after heavy rain. Look at that, another tofu expressway. You're on the tofu expressway to hell. So apparently they're trying to repair it, as we can see from the video. But I don't know how long that's going to take. But yeah, it just shows you like it's just another counter to the CCP propagandists and shills saying that China's infrastructure is like brand spanking new and amazing. And look at the West. The West is crumbling to pieces. The West, as they always say, like the UK and America, Australia, all of these countries' infrastructure is just crumbling to pieces, and China's is amazing. But then you have this tofu expressway to hell. Oh my god, excuse me, guys. My nose is so blocked right now. Ugh. Oh my god. That is crazy though. I mean, look at it. Yikes. Luckily, no one was driving when that happened, but it's pretty epic. Look at the scale of that. And they're just gonna have to start again. Okay, aside from tofu dregs, we just have a dreg of a human being here. I just wanted to show you this because, again, you've got shills always saying how clean China is and how sophisticated they are compared to us here in the West. The West, you know, like the West is just one collective country and everybody's the same in the West, not like we're all individuals living in individual countries here. We're just the West, right? But anyway, China is sophisticated. The people are sophisticated. They don't behave like absolute assholes. Like, on the New York subway, there's always that video of some dude taking a dump into like one of those cleaning mop bucket things. I've seen that video several times posted by propagandists from China showing you how amazing their subways are. Well, here we go.
个子之前那个子弹手放到 CK 口递火焰那个你那个记录在哪？
Doing. Oh, right, yeah. And this is in Nanyang. Oh, sorry. This is Nanning. Nanning. Oh, look. The guy just dropped a log on the floor. This is in Nanning, China, Guangxi province. The guy just drops a massive log in the corner of the metro station and then just walks off. Now, that is funny because, like I said, these propagandists, they'll always talk about how dilapidated like New York subway is and how people are dumping and pissing on the trains. And then you see it happen in China as well. So it also happens in China too. All right. And it's a bad thing, it's a terrible thing. I hate this happening anywhere in the world. I fucking hate it in London when I see a video of someone doing something like this on the subway, but it does happen, and it happens in China too, shills. So deal with it. Stop making out that China is like this paradise where nothing bad ever happens, because we know it's not true. The whole world knows it's not true because we keep seeing videos like this all the time. Anyway, yeah, and like Mike said, I would never have the balls to do that, even if it was a 911 emergency situation. I don't think I would either. I don't think I would be able to do that, man. Like I'd probably rather shit my pants than do it on the actual subway station or like in a station where there's a security camera watching me, right? Anyways, let's move on from that. Sometimes shit happens, right?
子弹说只看到那个24年的哦。
He's a young dude as well. Like, why did he do that, man? All right, I think this might be the last video that we're looking at today. Let's just see what goes on. So it's in a city. I'm not sure exactly where this is, but I can see that there's a Yeshu Zhongxin, an arts center just there. But anyway, could be anywhere in China, but it's definitely somewhere in China. You got a little police parade. It's like probably one of those stupid police demonstrations. Goes completely out of control, hits that kid. But what I want to pay attention to is the reaction from the police. Okay, do they go to help the little boy or do they go to check on the motorbike? First instinct. They all run to check on the bike. Look. They'd rather go and check on the bike than check the kid. See if the kid's alright. That is their first instinct, to go and check that police bike. That is effed up. Anyway, I hope that kid's alright. Oh crap, we got one more video. Yeah, I just think it's funny, like the police in China are just heartless, right? Going to check the bicycle before they go to check up on the little boy. quite sad. And hopefully he's all right. Okay, and just another video that I found. We see how desperate some people are in China. Remember, it's supposed to be this rich country. This dude, he's really tried his best to steal this chicken leg. It's back there. Oh, it almost got busted. This is how desperate they are. Remember, there's no poor people in China, according to all of these shills. Obviously, we know it's not true. We know that they're just stupid propagandists, right? But again, I'm seeing clips like this all the freaking time. Look, he's gone back to get the chicken leg. Nope. He really wants this chicken leg, doesn't he? Oh, nope. All right, all right, all right. I'm gonna sit down. Finally got that chicken leg. And off he goes. So when you see the shills always talking about, like how the people in China are poor and there's no thieves and people don't steal things. There's just as many thieves in China as there are in the rest of the world. Maybe more because China has a much larger population. Okay, so bad things do happen in China, shills. I'm sorry. I know that the truth hurts, but it does. Okay, so just deal with it. Stop pretending, and maybe China can make some improvements. If you just keep pretending that nothing bad ever happens, you can never improve on it because there's never any constructive criticism and ways to combat it because you're just pretending that it doesn't exist, and that is pathetic. Anyway, guys, that is all that I've got for today. Thank you so much for watching Crossing China's Red Line, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye for now.